Hello everyone, I'm currently working on this drawing of our own cat Oscar. It will be a gift for my mom's birthday, so I'm working on it in between commissions, and I thought it might be fun to show you a little clip of how I drew his eyes. He has very beautiful bright blue eyes, so it's definitely a feature that was very important to draw correctly because it really defines his face and it adds so much. So as usual, I start with my black pencil. I'm using a black Stabilo Carbothello for this, and I started by drawing in the pupil, and then I drew the black outline around the eye, and now I'm just adding a bit of shadows with a very light layer of black as well. For this drawing I will be using a combination of Stabilo Carbothello, Faber-Castell and Caran d'Ache pastel pencils on Clairefontaine pastel mat. Here I'm just adding a base layer of blue. I always like to start with a base layer where I can add the details on top. As you might notice, the left eye is much bigger than the right eye. This is because I drew the other eye a bit too small, but after filming this video I made it a bit bigger so that they were the same size. So now that the base layer is done, I will use my black Faber-Castell pencil again to add some more black details. Now I'm using a bit of gray to make it a bit less bright blue. His eyes are gray bluish, so I wanted to use that to desaturate it a little bit. For the fine details in the eye, I use my black Faber-Castell because I find it a bit harder, so easier to get a sharp point and to add good details. Now I'm using my Caran d'Ache pastel pencils. I actually bought two blues with this portrait in mind. I bought them about a month ago, so I was really excited to be finally using them. We actually adopted Oscar last year in May, so he's almost a year with us, and we got him from a shelter. He lived outside for a very long time. We don't really know what happened to him, but when he came to us he was in such a poor condition. He was very thin, he hadn't eaten a lot, he was very ill, he was so scared of people, but now he's just a dream cat. He's the best we could ever wish for, honestly. So as you can see, we got the colors right at the moment. We already have a little bit of detail in, but it's still looking quite dull and not very reflective and wet like nice should look. But once we add the highlight, it will make a massive difference and you will see the eye coming together completely. So now I'm again using my two pencils from Caran d'Ache, which I really wanted to use. So I'm just using them to create a bit of highlights, to draw the lighter parts, and then I'm using a dark blue pencil. This is not a black pencil, but it's close, and I'm using that to draw a bit of the darker detail. I'm also using a little bit of pink to add a different color, because if you only use blue it will look very bright blue but not really like an eye, because in an eye there are a lot of reflections, and I really wanted to make sure that I got a bit of reflections here as well and a few different colors. And as you can see, I'm going back to my black pencil very often just to redraw the black highlights, because if I'm using other colors I very often cover my blacks a little bit, so I go over that again to make sure that they are really black. You can already see that by drawing the highlights in the lighter color and then using the very dark blue for the shadows, that we really get good texture in the eye. Also, I'm sorry about the quality of the video. I bought a new webcam for my art videos, for live streaming, and also for my art lessons. But it's still very new, so I'm playing with the settings a little bit, and I hope it will get a bit better in the future. But for now, I'm not able to use it the best I can. I'm just looking and doing some research on which settings will be the best. I also started giving art lessons this year in pastel pencils for animal portraits. So if you would be interested in personal private lessons, you can always send me a message by mail or on my YouTube or on my Instagram or Facebook, and I can send you a little bit more information. Also, now that I got my webcam, I hope I can make a bit more videos, because before I did it with my phone and it was very hard. And I'm hoping I can start live streaming a bit as well on YouTube. I feel like that might be a very interesting technique to show you what I'm doing without having to spend a lot of time on editing the videos. So I might use that a bit more in the future. Now I'm drawing the pupil itself. I first made it very black, and now I'm using a bit of grays, but also a bit of pink to add a bit of reflection in that. I don't want to add too much reflection in the photo. There is actually a lot, but I find that in a drawing it's better to just make the pupil black and use a bit of highlights, but not too much, because otherwise it can look very messy. Of course, in some situations it works very well if you got a close-up of the eye. It can be very good, but in a portrait I find it a little bit distracting. So I'm making my highlights with my pencil from Caran d'Ache. It's not a white pencil, it's more like a light blue. And now I'm using my white pencil for the very brightest highlights. So what I usually like to do, I start with a dark gray, then I add a little bit of lighter gray, and then on top, the really lightest parts, I use my white pencil. I'm also touching up the fur around the eye a little bit, drawing a few hairs, covering the eye to make it all a bit more look together, put together. And so that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like more videos of me in the future, please let me know. I will do my best to record a lot more now. And you can also see in this final picture that I redrew the other eye a little bit, and I find that this works better. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and you learned a bit from it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!